For most of their existence, I was not a huge player of gacha games, not for the obvious reasons of it being just outright gambling for anime girl PNGs, and that it's essentially a Skinner box nightmare designed to train you as an obedient chicken to keep pressing that button and feeding money into the system. No. Instead, I just couldn't get into the gameplay, cause once it started to cuck you out of resources and hampering your progress in a vain attempt to get you to spend money, I would just check out, because I tend to just go all in on things that I get interested in. So when progress gets hampered, sometimes I just lose interest. That is until I met my gateway drug. That's right, the game that started it all, Blue Archive. That's right, the game that will immediately put you on an FBI watch list. That game, I fucking love that shit. Now, despite it being a gacha game, I really fell in love with the amount of love and effort that was poured into Blue Archive. The cute and expressive chibis, the cute and funny story, the characters and world that was just so fascinating and interesting. I really did not expect to fall in love with it as much as I did, and it really showed to me that just because something is on a mobile platform, just because something is on your phone, doesn't mean that there's necessarily less love and effort put into it. I grew up in an era where that was a big topic and concern. The exploitiveness of some mobile games was being put on blast. This was my first big experience with, oh, you can actually have a great amount of fun with games like these. It got me into playing other things like the dreaded Hoyoverse games. Something that the actions and the behaviors of the Genshin community has made me want to stay far, far away from. But then the game known as Honkai Star Rail appeared, and I flew even deeper into the hole of gacha degeneracy. Honkai Star Rail takes the primness and properness to a whole new fucking level. It's basically a $60 JRPG in the form of a microtransaction-ridden gacha game for husbandu and waifu farming. It's a new type of experience I've never seen at this point. I'd heard and seen a bit about this kind of shit from Genshin, but the level and scale of everything was different from anything I'd ever experienced at that point, because there is a great amount of detail, care, and polish put into this, just like you would have with any other game, sometimes with more polish and care than you'd see with some AAA games. The issue of it being psychologically manipulative aside, I have been having a huge amount of fun with the game, and I am looking forward to continuing with it. It's even gotten me interested in the game before it, Honkai Impact the Third, so that is something. So here I am now as a fully realized gacha addict. I am now a thrall to waifu collector sims and everything in between. And it got me thinking, I think a big part of the reason why these games have been getting a lot more popular recently is just the time investment aspect of them. A big budget, like $60 game, typically requires you sit down for maybe 2-3 hours to really get your fun out of it, because there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of shit going on, unless of course it's like some kind of a looter shooter type of game where you jump in. But a game like Star Rail is obviously more akin to something like an RPG, like a Persona games take like fucking hours to actually get into, to really get into the swing of, something that a lot of people, once you become an adult, they just don't have the time for. They don't have like the patience for. They want to hop into a game and really just have a bunch of fun with it for like 30 minutes to an hour, and then that's it. They have to go take care of other things. Like if they're not working, maybe they have children they need to look after. They have to cook, they have to do laundry. There's all these other bullshit that is like taking up your time, and I feel like gacha games are a lot more mindful of that, in a sense, being that it's a game you log into, they're making new content, but it's not so much content at once to where you completely lose yourself to it. I know for me that this has been a huge factor, seeing as I've lost a lot of free time and I have very poor time management skills to top it off. being able to just log into Blue Archive for like 30 minutes or something, you know, do my daily story content or some missions and then logging off, that's a big deal. I get to have my fun and then I get to go and do other things. I remember sitting down to play Tales of Arise when that came out, and to really get my fun out of it, I really had to sit down and play it for like a good few hours to really feel like I actually spent time having fun with it. Don't get me wrong, I had a blast with the game, and no matter what the fuck anybody says about it, I really did enjoy Tales of Arise. It's just, as an adult now and with a full-time job, things can sort of get messy and complicated. So I understand the place that gacha games and games like Hoyo games like Genshin and Star Rail now sort of occupy, and why they're popular and why they exist, outside of just, oh, it's a waifu husbandu collector sim game, even though that part is also great. Man, Hoyo can make girls with thick ass thighs. They can, boy, they can. But yeah, thanks for watching. I appreciate you if you did. Please give me a comment down below. It means a lot and it lets me know that people were engaged with the video. I really, really appreciate it, and I like seeing that, unless you're gonna be an asshole, in which case I don't appreciate that. But still, comment below. It means a lot. Anyway, thanks and have a great day, guys.